Fox Sports.
We are La Force. We are Ohio.
Milwaukee's Travis Shaw showing some support for the King and the hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. The Brewers come in tops in the National League Central Division. Meanwhile, Michael Brantley and the Indians looking to make some headway against their old rivals from the American League. Brantley homered on Sunday, giving the Indians 5 players now with at least 10 homers and at least 30 runs batted in on the year. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. I know it's an old rivalry from your playing days, and it's still sometimes hard to remember that the Brewers are no longer an American League foe. But when it comes to playing in the National League, they're playing very good baseball. As for the Indians, they've got Edwin Encarnacion. Back on May 6th, he went an 0-for against the New York Yankees. He was hitting a .198. Since then, he's only had 3 games in which he hasn't had a hit, and he has finally really caught fire.
And the American League Player of the Week. It's almost like you can set your calendar to how Edwin, comes and starts out slowly, but then all of a sudden he starts easing his way into it. Right now, he's in a full lather, a 10-game hitting streak, and he is swinging it very well. 6 home runs, 15 ribbies, 14 runs scored, and again, the Player of the Week. And Lindor had it twice in May, so they continue to do that, and the offense is not the problem for the Indians.
No, the offense has been very good. The starting pitching has been solid, headlined as usual by Corey Kluber. The last team to beat him is also the last team to draw a walk against him. That would be the Milwaukee Brewers.
And that was in his start in Milwaukee, and Kluber gave up a first-inning 2-run home run. The other home run he gave up in the game was to a pitcher, and that was the 3rd run, and the offense couldn't score. But since then, he has been lights out. A .68 ERA, 3-0 record, no walks and 31 strikeouts. And we've seen Corey, when he gets on a roll like that, he can go for 2 months in a row and pitch just like this.
We'll see if the Indians can take care of the Brewers on this brief 2-game homestand. It's the Indians and the Milwaukee Brewers. Play-by-play coming up next. We'll hear from Alan Jensen with an update on the draft, and we'll check in with Andre Knott as well. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. And by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud.
Host the Milwaukee Brewers tonight, and then tomorrow afternoon at 1, and then it's back out on the road for the Tribe as they head to Detroit this upcoming weekend. Tonight, Lonnie Chisenhall is back for the Tribe. Corey Kluber is on the hill. Maybe that means good things for this Cleveland Indians ball club that tries to end a 3-game losing streak. Hi again, everybody, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Let's talk a little bit Major League Baseball draft because it's happening this week, and the Indians made 4 selections yesterday on the first day of the MLB draft. And so far, Jensen, these guys have gotten some pretty good reviews.
Yeah, they have. Noah Naylor right now, the first pick they had. Best high school hitter in the draft from a lot of draft experts. Ethan Hankins, he's a Vanderbilt commit, but he's one of the top high school arms in the nation. But the guy at the bottom, Nick Sandlin, had a chance to talk to Scott Barnesby, his first as director of amateur scouting in this draft. He talked about how it's a unique arm slot from this guy. He was originally a reliever, then became the Friday night starter for Southern Miss this year. Could potentially be a dark horse September call-up to possibly bolster this bullpen.
We'll keep our eye out for that. Matt Underwood and Rick Manning have the call today. And speaking of draft picks, Matt, Lonnie Chisenhall, the #1 draft pick of the Indians back in 2008. He's back here tonight.
Yes, he is. He is back here with the ball club and in the starting lineup. Lonnie will be in right field. He'll be batting 8th as the Indians try to get back on track here against the Milwaukee Brewers. We take a look at our injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. To make room for Lonnie Chisenhall, the Indians sent Bradley Zimmer back to AAA Columbus. And as I mentioned, Chisenhall right into the starting lineup. And with more on this developing story, we go downstairs to Andre Knott with our Hear Right sounds of the game.
Thank you very much, Matt. As we all know, we're in the month of June. Doesn't feel like that right now as everyone's putting on sweaters and jackets. This is a little chilly today. But for Lonnie Chisenhall, he's only got 17 at-bats this season. This was not the season he envisioned. He envisioned being in right field and driving in a ton of runs like he did in the first half last year. That hasn't happened. And because of that, he now knows he can't make it all up in one game.
Well, luckily, I played quite a few rehab games, more than I normally would, just because of the history. But just go out there and see where you're at. I mean, you don't get into spring training, you don't get to start over. You just got to go out there and get in it.
Have you ever found yourself trying to catch up for what you've missed? You guys have said that before, but have you ever done that to yourself?
Not in the past few years, no. You kind of get away from that and you understand your role and what's expected of you. So go out there, put up quality at bats, play a good outfield, help where you can.
Well, we've talked, guys, a lot about what the outfield is going to look like and who's going to be here and who's not going to be here. We know that Greg Allen is in center field today. That means Bradley Zimmer is not. Just a little conversation that was had about that. For Terry Francona, he wants Bradley Zimmer back here. He thinks he's their best center fielder. But he says when you're striking out 40% of the time, that means that 60% you got to do a little bit more than he was able to do in his time up here with the big club.
It is a game of adjustments, and that will be the key right now for Bradley Zimmer. One thing that might help Lonnie Chisenhall with regards to that whole idea about trying to catch up for lost time, at least it won't feel like June the 5th. 59 degrees at game time. It's the Indians' lowest starting temperature since May the 13th in a home game.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's sunny. We're not going to get any rain, so we're going to have baseball. And Corey Kluber is going to be on the mound today, and that's always a good day for the Indians. If Kluber's on the mound, he will be our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. And Kluber has been on some kind of roll. Matter of fact, he's 3-0 in his last 4 starts. He should be 4-0 because they had only no decision. He went 6 1/3 against Houston, 7 hits, no runs, and the bullpen gave up a 2-0 lead. So he has not given up 3 runs in a start since his last start against this Milwaukee Brewer ball club. Hasn't walked anybody since that start that he had against Milwaukee. That came back on May 8th.
Here is the starting 9 for Craig Counsell in the Milwaukee Brewers. Lorenzo Cain leads it off. That man, Christian Yelich, was Milwaukee's Player of the Month in May. Jesus Aguilar will hit 3rd. A former Cleveland Indians farm hand. Travis Shaw will bat cleanup. He's at 3rd base. Ryan Braun hitting 5th. G-Man Choi will DH. He'll hit 6th. Then it's Jonathan Villar, Manny Pena, and Orlando Arcia batting 9th.
We'll check out that defense for the Indians, rated 9th in the league. They've made 32 errors. It'll be Brantley in left, Allen in center, and Chisenhall, his first start in quite a while, over in right. Ramirez is at 3rd, Lindor at short, Kipnis at 2nd, Alonso is at 1st, Gomes is behind the plate. Defense brought to you by Chrysler.
James Hoy will call the balls and strikes. Quinn Walcott is down at 1st base. That's the man you see moving. There's Jeff Well, that's Marvin Hudson over third, and Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief, will be out at second base. Corey Kluber getting ready to dial up what we hope will be another terrific outing. Every time he takes the hill, there's a chance of something very special happening. And with Corey Kluber this year, that has been the case more times than not. And the interesting thing about Corey Kluber is the strikeout numbers this year are down a bit from what we are used to seeing in the past. But opponent's batting average is also way down from what we've seen in the past. So while he may not be striking guys out as much at the same rate as we have seen, guys aren't getting base hits against him either. So he's still able to efficiently work his way deep into games.
Very stingy.
Here's the wind, and tonight's first pitch up and in into the backstop, and Lorenzo Cain knocked out of his toe hold right out of the gate.
Well, you don't expect that from Kluber, man. You go out there and you expect a fastball on the outside corner or just off the edge. This one got away. First pitch, he's looking at that landing foot. It's only ball one.
Cain swings, chops it into the ground, and Jose Ramirez throws him out one away. Our storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Corey Kluber at home, 5-0, a 1.26 ERA. Top of the order to you. The Indians' top hitters this year have been terrific, and they continue to do so, and we'll highlight that more when the Indians come to bat in the bottom of the first. Right now it's Christian Yelich. In the month of May, Yelich batted .330 with 5 homers and 17 runs driven in. And this is a Milwaukee ball club that has surged to the top of the leaderboard in not just the National League Central Division, but in all of the National League. They have the best record at 37-23, and who saw that coming back in March when we were trying to forecast how things would play out?
Well, you know, the Brewers did it last year, and they hung on for quite some time until, you know, late August and into September before Chicago took over. I mean, they were in first place. They're legitimate. And then they added Cain and Yelich and a couple other people. So I don't know why it surprises a lot of people.
Probably more so just because, you know, the Cubs are only 2 years removed from winning the World Championship, and, you know, they added Yu Darvish, and people are just they're just looking at the Cubs as, hey, they have to be the team to beat. You look at the NL East, the Nationals, but all of a sudden the Braves have stolen everybody's thunder in that division.
Yeah, and Philadelphia's played well this year. You know, the thing of it is, you remember that series they played against the Cubs earlier, end of April. It was a 4-game series. I think they scored 2 runs in the series. They were shut out a couple of times. Yeah, since that point, they're 21-10.
Christian Yelich ropes one into left field for a base hit. So Milwaukee with a 1-out base runner.
And there's a nice swing on a fastball away. Takes it to left field, gets the base hit.
Brewers lost 2 out of 3 to the Chicago White Sox this past weekend. They were off yesterday, so they figured to come in here with a little fire. Here is Jesus Aguilar. How do you get more playing time when you're not necessarily a guy who comes to spring training with a guaranteed job? You hit your way into the lineup, and that's what Aguilar has done.
He sure has. I mean, coming off as a pinch hitter, he was very key for him, and he worked his way into getting some first base time, and also Marcus Thames being hurt.
Double play ball. Ramirez to Kipnis. On to first. It's an inning-ending double play. Brewers do not score. The Indians are coming to bat.
Ramirez. He is tonight's Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher. And he did face the Indians on May 9th. He went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs. He took the loss in that game, and he was faced against Carlos Carrasco, who struck out 14.
Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Francisco Lindor leads it off. Michael Brantley bats second. Jose Ramirez will hit third. Then it's Edwin Encarnacion riding a 10-game hitting streak. Yonder Alonso is fifth. Then Jason Kipnis, Yan Gomes, Lonnie Chisenhall back in the lineup hitting eighth, and Greg Allen will bat ninth. Francisco Lindor in the top spot. What a job he has done as the Indians' leadoff hitter. As the #1 hitter in the lineup, Lindor has reached base 94 times this year. Only Cesar Hernandez of Philadelphia and George Springer of Houston have done it more often. Fly ball to deep right. Yelich pulls it down, 1 away.
Set that Milwaukee Brewers defense for you. They're 9th in the National League. They've made 36 errors. It'll be Braun in left field, Kane in center, Yelich over and right. On the infield, Shaw at third, Arcia at short. Villar is at second base. Aguilar is at first, and Pena behind the plate.
Michael Brantley. Brantley, tough series against the Twins in Minnesota. They pitched very well against him. He fouls the first pitch back. Brantley still comes in 7th best in the American League with that .323 average.
Nice numbers against his former team.
Brantley's .336 mark against right-handed pitchers in particular is 6th best in the AL. And his 19-game hitting streak that came to an end on May 30th, the longest in the league this season. Here's the 1-1.
For Guerra, I told you that the Indians beat him back on May 9th. That was his 3rd loss of the year. He's 3-3. After that start, he beat Arizona, where he went 6 innings. Then a no decision at Minnesota, against the Mets, and against the Cardinals.
Now the 2-1. Boy, just a bit low. That shows you how good of an eye Michael Brantley has, although until he gets to 2 strikes, he knows he doesn't have to expand. And that ball was just below the hitting zone. Had a pitch, 93-mile-an-hour fastball, fouled it back, full count.
You know, Matt or Rick, you were talking about what he's done since he last saw the Indians. The other thing that Ty Van Berkeley said, a lot more sliders than forkball splits. He's been using that slider a little bit more since the last time the Indians saw the Milwaukee Brewers. But he still will use it later in the game if he can get deeper in.
The payoff. Brantley kind of reaching for it. Bounces it to first. And Aguilar got the ball to Guerra, but he couldn't find the bag. Eventually he did, and there are 2 down. It's going to bring up Jose Ramirez. Boy, this guy continues to swing the bat well. Ramirez so consistently solid over his last 32 games. He's batted .344. And along with that, 16 doubles, 11 home runs, 29 runs batted in. You'd have to hope that his productivity helps Edwin Encarnacion, and as Edwin starts to heat up, that's going to in turn help Jose.
I was just going to say, it may get Jose some more fastballs and at bats where, you know, how teams used to try and pitch around him a little bit and, you know, to get a little wiggle room. Well, with Eddie warming up, they won't be able to do that. They may have to pitch him a little bit tougher.
Encarnacion hoping to get a shot here in the first inning. No score. 1-1 fouled back.
Well, that's the thing, you know, when you can look at your first 5 hitters in the lineup and say, hey, everybody has double-digit home runs, at least 10. That's all the way through Alonso, and over 30 RBIs. That's very impressive. Not many clubs can say that. And they can jump you early, so you got to be on top of your game right from the first pitch.
Check, did he go? He went too far, says third base umpire Marvin Hudson. And the Indians go 1-2-3. We are scoreless after 1 in Cleveland. The middle of the diamond still illuminated by sunlight. Everything else draped in shades, and it's cool. 59 degrees at game time. Pretty good breeze blowing straight in from center field as well.
Yeah, that's what makes it so cool when it's coming in to your face here.
Shaw gets into one. First pitch down the line, but it's hooking foul. Didn't quite know if that was going to stay down the line or not, but Shaw's reaction initially gave you the impression that he was out in front of it just a bit.
Well, Shaw got Corey in the first inning in Milwaukee for a 2-run home run.
He's 5th in the National League with 13 dingers. 6 of those have come in the last 22 games. He has started to find his swing.
Well, Travis Shaw has always had his swing against the Indians. Even when he came up with the Red Sox, he started like a house on fire, man, and just has stayed hot.
To your point, he's a career .309 hitter against Indians pitching. 3 homers, 6 runs batted in. Just a bit outside. 2-2. Got him looking. Looked like a cutter on the outside corner, and Shaw gave up on it.
Exactly what it was. Cut fastball. He goes on the back door variety right there. He starts it off the plate, and you can see where Gomes catches it. Comes in and catches the corner, and the left-hander just laid off it. He had a good look at it, but he thought it was going to stay outside, and it did not. Kluber gets his first strikeout.
Ryan Braun looks at ball one outside. Braun just 1 for his last 14 at the plate. This is a guy that obviously they count on to be a producer in the middle of the lineup. Overall hitting .229 on the year. Does have 6 homers, 10 doubles, and 24 driven in.
Well, when we first saw him in Milwaukee, he was playing first base, if you remember, in the 2-game series. Now he's in left field because Aguilar is playing first. He's getting some more playing time, so they got to move some guys around.
Strike to the outside corner. Yeah, Braun had never played first base before this year.
Remember,
trying to get him in the lineup.
We saw him in spring training. He was he didn't look very good out there, but he was out there trying it. Craig Counsell, their manager.
He went fishing, and Corey Kluber has back-to-back Ks here in the 2nd inning. Craig Counsell's the kind of guy that would strike you as you've got to be able to handle your position defensively before I put you in the lineup. But where Ryan Braun is concerned, you know, he is the franchise star, and they've got to find a way to get him in there.
Right. He needs at-bats. Not easy to learning on the fly after you've been in the big leagues for so long, a new position, but he was trying it this year.
Ji-Man Choi is the DH tonight for Milwaukee. He's played 8 games. He's 4 for 21 with 10 strikeouts.
That's a DH for the National League. We talk about our pitchers having to go into National League parks and hit. You would think that the National League would come in and have your best hitter in there, but it's a left-handed bat to face Corey Kluber is what it is.
Inside corner, he gave up on a good fastball.
If he gets, now that's a four-seam. If he gets that comeback fastball working in there, it's going to be tough for the lefties.
Now the 1-2 down and in. Swinging a foul up the first base side. It probably will not surprise you that, according to StatCast, so far this year on breaking balls, curveballs or sliders, however you want to classify them, Corey Kluber has a chase rate of better than 41, almost 42%. These are balls that are out of the strike zone that hitters will chase at.
And the reason why they chase is because he's always ahead in the count, and they have to expand their strike zone. It's tough to take a pitch from Kluber because his control is so good. When he gets ahead of you, he can put it off the dish just by a couple of inches.
And when hitters chase, they're 1 for 26 against him, if they can put it in play.
Right.
Swung on and missed. Choi cannot, and Kluber strikes out the side in the 2nd. Edwin Encarnacion is coming up when we come back. Edwin Encarnacion has hit in 10 straight games for the Indians. He leads off the home half of the second. And Junior Guerra just misses outside with a fastball. During his 10-game hitting streak, Encarnacion has collected 6 home runs.
That's a go ahead,
Matt, you mentioned numbers and how hot Edwin is. I say look at Mike Sarbaugh. Look where he's standing right now. He told me after getting hit in Minnesota, look where he's at. He's never been back this far. That's how hot Edwin is right now.
I'm glad you told me. I didn't notice that.
He said that ball in Minnesota hit something. He said he's never lost a ball while it was in there. He said he felt so embarrassed, and then he heard me yell, maybe you should have stayed away all weekend.
What did we say after your first hit of the game? It's a game of adjustments.
Game of adjustments.
Yeah. Here's the 1-2, and Edwin checks it's up high.
You know, you talk about Encarnacion, and when he has a 10-game hitting streak, you know he's seeing the ball well, because he's not a guy that, you know, can string a lot together, but he is right now.
Edwin wants the appeal, and he did not go full count. You're right. You don't look for him to put up gaudy 350, 360 type average numbers. But you do look for the home runs to be bunched together.
Yep.
And he takes the pitch low, ball 4.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Our great clip of the game. Go back to Sunday, and Edwin, boy, did he launch some baseballs. That one made it into the second deck. This one climbed even higher. He took a step back.
That gave him the lead, man, and that's one that you really wanted to hold on and win that ball game after that point. They couldn't do it, but he did the same thing the year before in Minnesota. Identical. Back-to-back years, a couple of home runs. I think the year before he had 5 RBIs. This year he had 4.
Now Yonder Alonso. Swing and a miss.
That walk for Guerra was his first walk in his last 2 starts, spanning 12 innings.
Alonso in his last 12 games, 3 doubles, couple of homers, 10 runs batted in. Once they go to 2 strikes, Travis Shaw, the third baseman, goes across the diamond and fits in between the first and second baseman. Another one of the unique variations on the shifts that teams will use defensively.
He played first and he played third, so they're getting him closer to first base bag is the way I look at it.
You know, there is maybe something to that. You've got a left-handed first baseman, Aguilar, who can go to the line, and Shaw, right-hander, he can go in the hole with it if he has to dive for it. So maybe you've got it all covered.
Well, shorter throw, and you got your 2 middle infielders at their normal position. Everybody's shifts are different.
Down at his feet. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Let's see if he breaks that splitter out again. That's usually the pitch he likes to get hitters to swing over the top of. And he just throws that fastball. That was down in the end, having Alonso moving his feet.
Good block that time by Pena. Francisco Lindor, creative with the hair today, huh?
Looks like someone got a highlighter out.
That's called bored in Francisco Lindor's life.
It's called, oh yeah, I got
bored.
You. Yeah.
The 2-2, and Alonso with a line drive, base hit, right field. Edwin will stop at second, and the Indians have their first 2 aboard here in inning number 2.
All right, down in the count 0-2. He's able to fight his way back into the count. Gets a base hit.
It's like he just lifted that ball over the second baseman's head.
And it was off the end of the bat. You can see it was, oh, excuse me, it was up down on the handle or the trademark. It got in on him a little bit. That's why he didn't hit it all that hard, but placed beautifully. So a good start here to the second.
See if the Indians can get that first early clutch hit with a runner in scoring position. Jason Kipnis steps in. Lifts it high and foul and out of play. Kipnis on the year. Batting .226 with runners in scoring position. As a team, the Indians are batting .263. At home, with runners in scoring position, .308 compared to a .199 on the road.
Well, take advantage of it. We're only home for tonight and tomorrow.
Kipnis with a line drive to right, and it is caught and corralled by Yelich for out number 1.
Hit it right on the nose. Yelich comes in and makes a sliding catch on it. I thought that ball might have a chance to get down, but it stayed up a lot longer than I thought. He could have actually ran straight through that ball, not had the slide, but he chose to do so. But it's out number 1.
So 2 on 1 out for Yan Gomes. Broke his bat, bloops it in around third, and Encarnacion will be stopped.
Yeah,
the bases are loaded. Throw back to third. He's there safely. He actually overslid the bag and had to reach back with his hand.
That was a wise hold by Sarbaugh. Even though for Edwin, he got a good jump, knowing that ball was going to drop after it shattered the bat of Gomes. But he stopped him, and I think Eddie picked him up a little late. That's why he had a tough time getting back. He was thinking home plate. And that's what you do as a runner. Your coach will stop you. Look at heads down. Kane can throw the baseball very well. He's got a good arm. Eddie doesn't run all that well. No. We can't take a chance of getting somebody thrown out. Good call. Bases loaded now, 1 out. And welcome back.
Lonnie Chisenhall's first at bat coming off the disabled list is with the bases loaded and 1 out. And he takes it down low. Now the 1-0. Line drive, base hit. Welcome back, Lonnie. Edwin scores. Alonso scores. It's 2-0 Cleveland.
Well, that's why Sarbaugh holds him up. Chisenhall comes through. First at bat, a 2-run single, and the Indians are playing from in front. Beautiful, right down. Look at, he picks that ball up off the ground. You talk about Chisenhall being a low ball hitter. That shows you why. That ball couldn't have been 6 inches off the ground, but it'll drive in a pair. Scoring Edwin and Alonso. So a very big hit here in the second inning. So,
Greg Allen with a chance now. Switch hitter, bats ninth tonight. 2 on, still only 1 out. Greg, last 8 games, batting almost .350 with 8 runs scored. Fastball strike. Gets ahead.
After a visit from Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, the only out in this inning was a line drive off the bat of Kipnis.
Pop up, foul ground, drawn over near the seats. It's going to go out of play. There's a case where that wind blowing in tonight just pushed it right on out of play.
Sure did, and it pushed it pretty well out of play. That's a break there. Normally, no wind, that ball stays in play. And that's the one thing that Greg Allen has done nicely from both sides of the plate. When he goes the other way, he's been hitting line drives. He hasn't been hitting lazy fly balls that way. He's been staying on top of the baseball.
Guerra is ahead of him 0-2 here. And it's a little low.
There's that splitter coming out.
The Indians are 2 for 3 in the inning now with runners in scoring position. Opponents against Guerra on the year were 4 for 30 coming into tonight.
Yeah, and this is start number 11 for him, and it's the first time he's given up a run in the second inning, so he finally has an ERA there.
That was after a 1-2-3 first. To second, Villar goes to Arcia, back to first in time for an inning-ending double play. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 man left. Through 2, it's Cleveland 2, Milwaukee nothing. Nothing. Third inning, and it will be the top of the order for Milwaukee. Francisco Lindor. Will lead off the home half of the third for Cleveland. Bottom third of the order here for Milwaukee. Jonathan Villar, Manny Pena, and Orlando Arcia for the Brew Crew. In on the grass at third is Jose Ramirez, and the pitch is up high, ball 1. Villar 3 for 25 against Cleveland pitching in his career. Takes an inside strike. Villar, the only switch hitter in the lineup for Milwaukee. Sends a fly ball toward left. Brantley drifting over, makes the catch, 1 down. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Since June 1st of a year ago, Corey Kluber has the best record in baseball, ERA, most innings pitched, punch-outs, complete games.
23-4. That's some kind of run right there. When you extend it out over a year, very impressive.
The numbers that jumped out to me, guys, in 251 innings since coming off the DL, 312 strikeouts, and the ERA of 1.76, but only 3.5 people have been walked.
Yeah.
The percentage, that's amazing to me.
Yeah, to throw that many strikes and not give up that many hits is incredible.
And as Matt said, the strikeouts are down this season, but he's still throwing just as many strikes and not walking anymore.
Yeah, and that they're getting aggressive with him. That's why he averages about, I'd say, 67 to 70% strikes.
Well, the number I have is 559 swinging strikes coming into today's game is the number since he came off the DL last year.
Swinging strikes.
Swinging strikes.
The 2-1. That's hit well. Left center field. Brantley's going to chase it. And a one-hop the wall. Manny Pena slides safely into second base with a one-out double. It's his 6th on the year.
Hit this ball very well, and there's a mistake. There's that little cutter that he left middle of the plate. Pena hits it, drives it into the alley, gets the double. That's his 6th double on the year.
Orlando Arcia. Just 3 for his last 23.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
pick.
what a backhanded pick by Gomes.
You know, it almost looked like he knew he was going to catch it because he came up ready to throw. And that was a backhanded pick at that with a man on third. If you let it go, it was a short hop, but boy, he picked it cleanly.
Chopped off the plate.
Forget it.
Ramirez fields it, throws it, can't get him. And the Brewers have 2 aboard with 1 out. He might have been better off to let it drop and see if it would trickle foul.
You know, but when he sees how high it was, he feels maybe if it hits the grass, it's going to stay fair. But I agree with you. I think it had that top spin coming off the plate because I don't think you were going to get him, and he did everything in his power to get there. Gets rid of it quickly. It's on the money, but you can see Arcia is past first base, so an infield single now. And now Milwaukee coming back with a chance to score.
What you're seeing here is a rarity. 2 hits allowed in an inning by Corey Kluber. And it turns it over now to the top of the order and Lorenzo Cain, who saw only 2 pitches his first time up, grounded out to third. Since 1920, through 12 starts in the season, only Louis Tiant has a better whip, that's walks and hits per innings pitched, than Corey Kluber. Kluber coming in 0.84, so you're talking fewer than 1 walk or hit combined per inning pitched. Louis Tiant in 1968 was 0.80, so Kluber's only 4/10 behind Tiant.
And that's when the mound was up.
Yeah, that was the year of the pitcher.
Yep.
Danny McClain, Bob Gibson,
31, yes.
Louis Tiant.
What was it? About 16 inches then, and then it's cut down to 10.
His as hard as these guys are to hit now, I can't imagine how much more difficult it would have been to face a guy like Kluber.
Well, it gives
with a little more leverage.
Yeah, downward angle. A little easier to come down when you're up that much higher.
Brewers threatening, first and third, one out here in inning number 3. Slaps it foul the other way.
In 68, it was actually 15 inches high, and now it went down to 10.
That's a pretty drastic measure to take 5 inches.
Sure. I mean, think about it. Be interesting to talk to the pitchers making the adjustments the following year that were so dominating. Not that they weren't going to be good anyway because of their arms, but even just a normal guy going out and trying to pitch off a mound at that much different.
The 0-2. And Kane with a base hit the other way into right field. 3 straight hits in the inning. And Milwaukee is on the board, cutting the Tribe lead in half. It's 2-1. Kane's 18th run batted in on the year.
Pretty good approach here by Kane against Corey Kluber, and 3 straight hits is a rarity, but this one is elevated. He got underneath this ball and made it a little bit easier for him to go to right field. You see that swing, brought the hands in a little bit, but fights it off the other way. So Milwaukee's on the board now.
Christian Yelich, opposite field single to left his first time up, and he takes outside, ball 1.
Alonso came back and snuck in behind him after that first pitch, and Kane's going to keep an eye on him now.
Big swing and a miss. It's 1-1. You see Alonso positioned defensively behind Kane. Nana just wants him to know he's there so he doesn't get an enormous lead.
True. Well, Gomes will keep his eye on him when he see if he falls asleep.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Just a bit outside, and a good take by Yelich.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch to take, but they wanted it in a little bit more, and it just misses. It's off the plate. I wonder if he could throw that fastball that starts at his front hip here after throwing that good pitch there.
Lined it right to Kipnis. The flip back to second, not in time for a potential double play.
Boy, he smoked that changeup right there. That did not take long to get to Kip in the backhanded flip. And I'll tell you, at second base, Arcia didn't have much time to get off the base. Watch how hard it's hit. He freezes. That's a pretty good job.
Yeah, he was going right back to the bag.
Yeah, that's what you do as a base runner. Look at, he got his start back, or he would have been doubled off.
That's being aware where the defender is.
Yes.
He saw it was going right at him.
It sure was. And I mean, it was hit hard.
Jesus Aguilar grounded into a double play to end the first inning. Looks at a fastball, bottom of the zone, strike 1. In the 36 games that Aguilar has started this year for Milwaukee, he's hit .311, 9 homers, 31 runs batted in.
That'll get you more playing time.
On the year, the Brewers are 37-23. Came in with a 2-game lead in the Central over Chicago. St. Louis started the day in 3rd place, 3.5 games back. Yanked foul.
Boy, he didn't hesitate at that breaking ball in the inner part of the plate. Send out some birthday wishes. Henry Isu of Canton is turning 100 today. Very happy birthday, Henry. Donna Boyd of Mansfield is 98. And Gus and Justine Brandis celebrating her 64th wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
And the 1-2 is fouled off to the right. Twins and White Sox trying to make up for lost time today in Minneapolis. They're playing a doubleheader. They had an entire series lost in April due to snow. Twins won the first game. White Sox have scored 4 early. They lead Minnesota 4-0 in game 2.
That's right. Right before they went to Puerto Rico, that whole series snowed out.
Yanked foul again. Look out. That had some steam coming off. Twenty-fifth pitch of the inning for Kluber. Popped up foul out of play, and Aguilar stays alive.
He made a good pitch, and Aguilar fouled off a very good pitch to stay alive. Is right. Had to go off that plate outside to foul it off. See, that's the thing when you're a hitter with Kluber. You know he's going to throw strikes. You're going to be around the plate, and you may have to expand your zone at times. You just hope you can hit it and maybe put it in play. But he's so tough, and that's when the strikeouts come. He still has him down in the count 1-2.
Swung on and missed. Hayes struck him out to end the inning. 4th K for Kluber, but 3 hits lead to the Brewers' first run of the night. 2-1 Cleveland, middle of the 3rd. third. Top of the order for Cleveland. When the Indians played at Milwaukee a month ago, Lindor was 4 for 9 in that series with 2 home runs. There's a foul. In the hole, 0-2. Through the bat at it, and a diving catch made by Jonathan VR.
Are you kidding me? That's a heck of a play. Shaw was over there in that hole, but he was playing in the second base hole, and just watch the range and the dive right at the end. Terrific play to take a hit from Lindor. Wow. That's a big hit because you get your leadoff man aboard, you get your pitcher out of the stretch, and you're at the top of the lineup.
Michael Brantley ground out his first time up. Brantley's 19-game hitting streak, not only the longest in the American League, but in all of baseball so far this season. He also had a 19-game hitting streak back in 2010. The longest in his career came in 2012 when he hit in 22 in a row.
Well, when you can put 3 streaks together like that in your career, that shows you how consistent you are as a hitter of putting the ball in play and knowing the strike zone. Not an easy thing to do, to get a hit 3 straight weeks. You know what I mean? That's that's what you're doing. You're going out there, and that's a hard thing to do. I think maybe more so now than what it used to be, because you're facing so many different pitchers during the course of a ball game.
Quite a few of those games too were multi-hit ball games. You know, sometimes we'll see guys will put together a hitting streak and it's just 1 hit a game. Hey, I'm not taking anything away from you, but you know, Brantley was hitting everything in sight, it seemed like. Hard hit ball, but with the shift on, VR, long throw from the outfield, 2 down.
Well, Tribetown MVPs, presented by Cleveland Clinic's Children's, is the official fan club of the Indians for kids 6 to 14. Now, memberships are $20 and include invitations to exclusive events and Tribe gear. Just go to Indians.com for more information.
I counted 8 of the 19 games in which he had multiple hits.
Doesn't surprise me. I remember he had a streak of 5 consecutive.
Yeah, he had 5 straight multi-hit games in April. Jose Ramirez struck out to end the first inning. And Junior Guerra misses down low, 2-0.
Well, in the second inning for the Indians, that rally started with the leadoff walk to Encarnacion before they were able to put a couple on the board.
Rocketed deep right field. Yelich back. He's out of room. It's out of here. The Indians get the run right back on the 19th home run this year by Jose Ramirez.
He actually turned that wind around. That ball was hit a lot harder than where it landed. It landed right on top and just above the yellow line, but it cut through that wind, and Yelich got back there. He didn't offer a jump. So it gets out, one swing of the bat. Fastball inside, and he turned on it. You're not going to sneak a piece of cheese past that rat, I'll tell you. He's going to catch up to it. There it is, bounces into the seats. Momentum back in Cleveland's favor.
Edwin Encarnacion takes a strike. Jose just one behind the American League lead. JD Martinez is homered today for Boston.
So what's he have, 20 now?
Yeah, he's at 20.
Oh, that guy's a machine. Yeah, Boston playing Detroit.
Edwin drives one high and deep to left. Braun in front of the wall, comes back now and makes the catch, and that will end the inning. But Jose Ramirez sends one deep to the seats and right. It's Cleveland 3, Milwaukee 1. The size of Joe Thomas, but he can hit a ball a lot farther than the former Browns All-Pro tackle. Let's go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Look,
You new at this? Are
Turn
you new
it
at
on.
this? Well, your first time?
Joe and I were having a special conversation. You guys didn't need to hear everything we were talking about.
We know that.
But you bring up Jose Ramirez. Did you get to meet Jose Ramirez, Joe?
We got to meet a few of those guys in the clubhouse.
No, I know, listening to Hawk earlier, he was blown away by the size of a lot of the players, thinking they were bigger. Now, what did you think since you've lost all this weight?
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. I mean, those guys are all pretty ripped up. They got big arms. I mean, bigger than a lot of the football guys that we play with.
Now, how have you lost all the weight that you've lost since you stopped playing?
So I was always a guy that had to eat a lot. I mean, I was eating like 7,000 calories a day to maintain 300 pounds. And so for me, just dropping down to a normal 4,000 calories a day diet, I lost 30, 35 pounds really quick. And the last 5 pounds or so, I've just kind of reduced my carbs and I started swimming. But other than that, it's just been pretty easy.
You make it sound way easier than what it really was. All right, you got to throw out the first pitch. Now, how in the world hadn't you thrown out a first pitch here in all the years that you'd already been here?
So I actually did. The year I was drafted in 2007, they had me and Brady Quinn out here, and we both threw out first pitches, but I haven't been back since.
Now, how do you feel about your first pitch? And we also watch you do batting practice. We'll get there.
Yeah, so we'll go with the first pitch first. I thought it was really good. You know, a 98-mile-an-hour sinker that comes in belt high and at the last second hits the dirt. I think that's a pretty good pitch. It's one of the nastiest pitches this stadium's ever seen.
All right, I got to tell the truth after they tell. That's a great catch by Michael Brantley. So I go up to Joe right before he throws the first pitch, and I go, "You gonna go 2-seamer, 4-seamer, and tell people what you said."
I said I'm going with the 8-seam fastball. Nobody's ever seen it before. This guy won't have a chance to catch it.
All right, I want to ask you something. You have the streak. And it's a streak that probably won't go down. I don't see anyone in the NFL getting over 10,000 snaps in a row. And you look at that streak, and you look at what LeBron has done. I know Andrew's been making fun of you that the Cavs didn't lose after you hugged him for a while. But just Cavaliers-wise and what they've been able to do and what LeBron has been able to do going to 8 finals in a row, which one do you think is more difficult?
Wow, well, I'm going to go with LeBron. I mean, to be able to go to 8 finals in a row with different teams, that just speaks to the quality of the player that he is. I mean, talk about probably the greatest basketball player of all time, to be able, no matter who his supporting cast is, take that team, will that team to the finals is unbelievable.
What about your snap streak?
Chump change, man. You know, anybody can do that. Anybody can roll their helmet out there every game and line up on time.
All right, you're retired, and I know that the streak stopped last year. You're no longer an NFL player. You're one of us, I guess, somewhat. You can tell everybody about the #1 podcast in the world when we get there. What are you going to do in September? Have you thought about what September is going to be like? Easy now. Go to basketball games, go to baseball games, hang out with Hawk. Have you thought about what's going to be like in September when there's no football game to go to?
Yeah, I've had a lot of thoughts about it. I think right now I'm trying to get myself excited about being a football fan. I grew up a huge football fan, like a lot of kids. I loved Sundays with my family, sitting on the couch watching football games from noon. I grew up in Central Time Zone, noon until I went to bed at 10:30 at night. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to diving into the college season, being a really big college fan, because when you're traveling with pro football, a lot of times you miss a lot of those Saturday games. So I'm trying to look on the bright side. I know I'm going to miss it. I know there's going to be a lot of nostalgia, but I'm looking forward to just being a total fan.
All right, last thing I'm going to have you do. Say hi to Doug Deacon, because I know he's watching, and tell everybody about the podcast.
Well, if you haven't listened to the Tomahawk Show yet, you're obviously missing out. It's the #1 podcast on Apple iTunes. We were here at the Indians today doing the podcast. Make sure you check it out. Doug Deacon, everyone loves you. We know you're watching, but make sure you get to bed. It's getting late, old man.
Thank you, Joe. It's good seeing you, man.
Good to see you, buddy.
All right, back to you guys over the booth.
Andre, I want to know how many calories you're eating a day.
How many calories am I eating a day?
Yeah.
A lot.
More than 4,000.
More than 7,000.
You know, I did an event with Joe not too long ago, and I reminded him of that time he came here with Brady Quinn when he was just drafted by came up and spent an inning with you and I in the booth. We made such an impression on him that night that he had absolutely no recollection of it whatsoever.
That doesn't surprise me. We do that to everybody.
Here's the wide on the 2-2 to Ryan Braun. Swung on and missed. Corey Kluber with his 5th strikeout of the night. And there are 2 down here in the inning.
Well, he gets him to chase another breaking ball out of the zone, and that's the MO here. He's gone down twice. Both times he's chased pitches out of the zone. You can see him down and away, but you think you can get there. You just can't touch it. So it's 5 punch-outs now for Corey.
That'll bring up G-Man Choi, who struck out to end the 2nd inning. Popped up, foul. Ramirez gives it a look. He gets to the rail and can't quite get there.
You know, I was going to say stay fair, but that wind, not that it was that high, but it pushed it a little bit.
He's yelling at his guys saying, hey, why don't you get over here and give me a little help?
Well, you know what? If Andre was there, he probably would have. Normally, that's where he sits in there. That's Milky. He's not going to. He's got to keep his hands warm.
Thing about Jose, he's kind of kidding, but he's not. The 0-1. And a strike call. Kluber might just take care of himself here. 65th pitch of the night. Almost chased after it.
He tried to get him to chase it down, and then breaking ball in his last at bat, it didn't work, but he got him to swing at something else after that.
Kipnis has to go off the glove. It was a wicked smash. And it will be a 2-out single for Choi.
Yeah, he goes down and hits a low fastball, and I mean he put some steam on it. That's just a do or die play on the backhanded side. It hit the glove, but it didn't stick in the glove. Deflects into center field, a 2-out base hit.
Came off the bat at 104 miles an hour. I don't think the launch angle was real good, though.
No, you know what, 104, I don't care that you still hit it well.
Jonathan VR flied to left, his only time up. Big swing. He comes up empty. VR in his last 6 games coming into tonight had 8 hits, including 2 doubles, 2 home runs. So he's been swinging a pretty potent bat. That bat exploded. Kluber takes care of him, and the inning is over. Middle of the 4th. Indians 3, Brewers 1.
All military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
(3-1) Indians on top, bottom of the 4th. Yonder Alonso, Jason Kipnis, and Yan Gomes for Cleveland. Alonso singled and scored in the 2nd. And a rocket right at VR, 1 down. Jason Kipnis hit an almost similar shot to that his first time up. It was a little deeper in the right field, a line drive. And that was caught by Christian Yelich. Three runs on 4 hits. And about 4 loud outs to go along with those.
Yeah, there have been some balls hit right on the nose between both teams, actually. Kara, I think if you would have asked the question what happened, he was Milwaukee's opening day starter last year. Went 1-4 with a 5-12 and then was injured. A pair of stints on the disabled list. That came April 4th to May 25th. So they thought enough of him to make him an opening day starter, and he's hung in there. There's a Rule 5 player coming from the Chicago White Sox. Nice, there you go.
Saw Jason Kipnis as the Indians' 5th hit of the night. He's going for 2. Testing the arm of Lorenzo Cain, and he beats it with a head-first dive for a double.
Nice hustle. That's exactly how you turn singles into doubles, is leaving the batter's box, and he knew it was going to split the outfielders. And where they were playing him, you see that they're playing him deep, and then he sees it's going to get out there. So right from the batter's box, he thought double, and that's exactly how you make it. Didn't hesitate. He made the decision leaving the batter's box, and that's a great hustle by Kipnis right there. His 14th double. Now he's in scoring position, and it comes with 1 out, so you don't have to worry about it. Now they get a couple chances to get him home. Great hustle.
Yan Gomes taking breaking ball in for a strike. Gomes singled his only time up. Broke his bat, but it loaded the bases in the 2nd inning and enabled the Indians to strike first and score a couple of runs in that 2nd inning. Nothing into the count. What a block by P. That was way out in front of the plate. And he kept it from getting by him.
Yes, he did. He got up on his hunches, man, and let that ball hit his chest protector and just stay right out in front. Well done. Keep that man at second base. Catchers do that on a nightly basis. That never shows up in the box score. But boy, your teammates certainly appreciate it. So does your manager.
Oh, good pitch to hit. Gomes fouling it back. A lot of times when you're down on the count, you don't get one that good.
Yeah, I was just about an inch or two above his zone, you know, where he could put a good swing on it. If that was an inch or two lower, it would have been right in his nitro zone.
Just in off the plate. Good take by Gomes. It's 2-2. Lonnie Chisenhall waiting on deck. He drove in a pair in the 2nd inning in his first at bat. The 2-2. Chase one, got a piece of it.
Well, look at this. He's one of the few guys that could have just touched that ball. It was going away, and it was only a few inches off the ground.
Junior Guerra delivers, and he throws it by him, strikes him out. Only his second strikeout of the ball game, but there are now 2 down in the 4th inning.
Lonnie picks up that ball off the ground in his first at bat to drive in the first 2 runs of the game. Really, I mean, another good low ball hitter. That ball was not that far off the ground.
Lonnie Chisenhall on the DL since suffering a right calf strain on April the 7th. So you're talking basically 2 full months. Same injury knocked him out last year for all of July and all of August. But he comes right back here, first time up, drives in a pair. Now looking for a 2-out RBI hit. Breaks his bat, and the inning is over. Through 4, it's Cleveland 3, Milwaukee 1. Indians baseball is brought to you by the 2019 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by your Chevy Network dealers. Visit ClickChevy.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. (3-1) Indians on top, 5th inning. Manny Pena leads off for Milwaukee. He doubled and scored the Brewers' only run in the 3rd inning.
Well, the first time through the lineup, they swung at Kluber's first pitch once. They were 1 of 9. The second time through, they were 5 out of 9. They got after that first pitch.
Swung on and missed. Blew it right by him. A half dozen Ks for Corey Kluber. Mid-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Lonnie Chisenhall with a 2-run single with 1 out in the 2nd inning gave the Indians the lead. Brewers' only run came in the 3rd. 3 straight hits against Corey Kluber led to the run. Lorenzo Cain driving home Manny Pena. Jose Ramirez got it right back with his 19th home run of the year with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Corey Kluber has now gone 129 consecutive batters without allowing a walk. Remember the name Domingo Santana.
Okay. He was the last one to walk in Milwaukee, huh?
He was the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 4th inning in Milwaukee. That's the last time Kluber walked a batter. That's pretty amazing. .32 2/3 innings. That covers.
That's incredible. Well, that's another case in point why he's under 15 pitches per inning so far this year. He's at 14.2 per inning, and that's how you go 7 and 8 innings in every game.
That was almost fair. He tried to chop that over the bag at first. Well, now Orlando Arcia is in the hole, 1-2 with 1 out here in the 5th.
Again, another 1-2 count. He's had 9 0-2 1-2 counts so far tonight. Something he does all the time. And I mean, you don't talk about it. I mean, you wish every pitcher could do that. That's a pitching coach's dream.
Threw the bat at it. Kipnis runs it down. 2 away. Time for a game break. Here's Al Pawlowski.
All right, Matt, Rick, let's head out to see the White Sox in Minnesota. Doubleheader day today in the Twin Cities. Minnesota won game 1, but game 2 going the way of the White Sox. Jose Abreu, his 10th home run of the season here in the 1st inning, a 2-run shot. Put the White Sox ahead 2-0. It's now 4-0. White Sox, bottom of the 3rd inning at Target Field, fellas. We'll see what happens today. Maybe a split here.
All right, thanks, Al. 2 down, top of the order, Lorenzo Cain, who drove in Milwaukee's only run in the 3rd. A lot of people think that the Brewers could be the latest version of the Kansas City Royals, and not just because Lorenzo Cain is on this club and played for that team that went to the World Championship in Kansas City, but you know, the fact that their bullpen has been so good. Their starters, they're not having to lean on them too much. They've got some athletic versatility in the lineup.
Well, the better starting pitching they get, and you can take some pressure off that bullpen. It's been outstanding, really. He's got a couple of guys that are pitching very well. They're a team that can hit the long ball. They're 2nd in home runs. They can steal bases. They're 2nd in that department. They will strike out a lot, but that was their MO last year. And it's a matter of some of these young guys. But I think the additions of Cain and Yelich, the veterans, came over and they took a little pressure off some of these younger kids that had very good years for them last year. And they will play hard for that guy right there, for Craig Counsell.
1-2 pitch. Down low. Cain lays off.
You know, they're in a very tough division. The National League East has been very good. Or excuse me, the Central, I mean. They lead the way. Chicago's right there. They're 10 games over. St. Louis is 7 games above. And Pittsburgh's a game over.
Two. I think what's going to be interesting is how they handle the constant scrutiny of, but what about last year? And there are guys who weren't here last year, but they're going to be asked about it, and it's going to keep coming up. And how they deal with that could be an important factor.
They're going to have to play better in their own division. They're 2 games under 500 in the Central.
Chopped up the middle, and that might get through. It will. Once it got by Corey Kluber, it looked like there was no way Lindor was going to flag it down, and it keeps the inning alive for Milwaukee here in the 5th.
Kane gets his second straight base hit. His other one was a base hit the other way. This one right out in front of the plate. Has the top spin and it rolls all the way through easily. So the 6th hit now for the Brewers. Now you want to keep your eye on Kane. He's stolen 11 out of 14 with 2 outs here in Yelich hitting. Not a bad time to try. Middle part of the ball game, you know.
Yelich has had 2 good at bats. Opposite field line drive single in the first, and then he had a line drive at second baseman Jason Kipnis in the third.
And 2 guys have tried to steal this year off Kluber, and they've both been caught. And it wasn't, I think, too long ago. It might have been his last start when they tried. Because remember, there was nobody that tried to steal a base up for the longest time.
I'm sure Lorenzo has seen enough of Corey Kluber to know whether he can or doesn't even want to try.
You're right. And maybe he's going to give Yelich that hole between first and second with 2 outs until he gets 2 strikes. And then maybe protect him.
Chop towards third. Ramirez will go the long way. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit, a man left. We're halfway through. It's Cleveland 3, Milwaukee 1.
With the MLB Ballpark app, access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
Greg Allen will lead off for Cleveland here, bottom of the 5th. Bounced into a double play that ended the 2nd inning. Rips it foul up the first base side. Showing bunt, spun out of the way of the pitch up and in. If you missed it earlier, the Indians activating Lonnie Chisenhall from the disabled list today. A lot of speculation. What would the Indians do? The move they made? Well, you see Greg Allen in the batter's box. He stayed. Bradley Zimmer sent back to AAA Columbus. Fly ball to Lorenzo Cain, 1 down. That's not to say that Bradley Zimmer is going to be down there long, but at least for the time being. This series wraps up tomorrow, 1 o'clock start. Indians Live begins our coverage at 12:30. Carlos Carrasco goes against Chase Anderson. And then the Indians hit the road one more time. Top of the order, Francisco Lindor 0 for 2. As flied out, lined out. Lindor hit the ball right on the nose in the 3rd inning. But it was a fine defensive play by Jonathan Villar at second base to steal a hit away from him.
Looking at that series, an important one going on. Seattle against Houston. Seattle has a 1-game lead over those Houston Astros, and they're up 4-0 early in that game.
Mariners have won 4 straight going into that ball game. On the heels of the Astros losing 6 out of their last 10.
Yeah, that's Paxton against Keuchel. A couple of left-handers going at it. Nice series there in Houston.
6-0 in the 2nd inning.
Yeah,
so they got Keuchel early.
Yes, they did. Jumped on him early. You got the big Maple on the mound for Seattle. He's a tough customer.
Swing and a miss. Lindor strikes out. You got to water him a lot down there in Houston.
Yes, you do. No, you don't water him. Let him dry out. He may hang a few pitches. 3rd strikeout for Guerra.
Michael Brantley 0 for 2 on the evening will step to the plate.
There's the West. Angels trying to hang in there.
Hey, hats off to Oakland. I mean, they've done a nice job too.
Yes, they have.
Michael Brantley has grounded out twice.
Yeah, speaking of Oakland, we'll head out there towards the end of the month.
Brantley smokes it right field line. Fair ball. Into the corner it goes. He's headed for second base, and it's a 2-out double for Dr. Smooth, his 13th on the year.
Boy, he turned on that ball and hit a P right down the right field line. He knew it was getting all the way to the wall, and it was going to stay fair. He tried to come inside with a heater, and no siree.
Two-out RBI opportunity for Jose Ramirez. Last time Ramirez batted, there was nobody on base with 2 outs, so he drove himself home. 19th home run of the year. Came with an off-speed pitch. He wasn't going to try to throw that fastball by him.
No, because it's hard to do. You cannot do that. Not that the exit velo was very hard, but I mean, he hit it. That thing took off. Didn't take long to get out of here.
Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down to Andre.
Speaking of Jose and home runs, before the game, I was sitting with him, talking with him, and talking about how high up in the home run leaders he is. And I asked him, would he want to be in the home run contest if he makes the All-Star game in Washington this year? He looked at me and smiled and said, I want in and I will win it. Just want you guys to know, he feels he'll win it if they put him in it.
Yeah, most guys don't want to go in there.
But does he have the right swing to go about
for
doing
batting practice? Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to hit him 800 feet. You just have to hit him over the fence.
Well, that's why he's successful in regular games, because he doesn't try to hit him 800 feet.
Right. He just puts good swings on him. And if you can find his zone, a batting practice pitcher, he could hit as many as anybody. Absolutely.
Well, MLB, the word is out. He wants in. He wants it.
Well, there you go. Are you representing him?
I will represent him because I can look him in the eye, unlike Joe Thomas.
Well, I wish.
Couldn't believe it. I was sitting with Joe Thomas when he hit the home run. He goes, "How does that guy do it?"
2-1 pitch. Tell him to wait till next year. He can be the home run contestant for the Tribe when the game's right here.
The ambassador of home runs is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Huh? It's just funny to hear a guy like Jose say he wants in the home run hitting contest after Judge, who won it last year.
So many guys seem to run from it now.
Right. They don't want anything to do with it.
Well, because guys have struggled after the break, after competing in it, and they've gone south after that. They say it messes up their swing, and you get carried away with it. I don't know. A lot of guys want to stay away from it.
High fly ball right field. Yelich over into the corner. Makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs ahead, a man left. After 5, it's Cleveland 3, Milwaukee 1. We head to the 6th inning. Our player profile brought to you by Levin Furniture. Jesus Aguilar started his career in the Indians farm system. 8 minor league seasons, hit 136 home runs. Had a few very limited opportunities at the big league level, but never really showed anything while he was with the club, or even for that matter when he was with the club in big league spring training. But got an opportunity with Milwaukee. So far, he's made the most of it.
I spoke with Jesus before the game today, and he was out here early during BP, not for the Milwaukee, but for Cleveland. He said he always dreamed that this would be the place that he would play at, and he was unfortunate that he didn't get the opportunity. But a lot like Eric Gonzalez, he said he got over to Milwaukee, he said, I'm going to make the most of my opportunity and swing every time I get a chance.
Well, and that's how baseball works sometimes. This is not an easy organization or a lineup to break into. They've been successful now for quite a while, and it's hard to break into a team like that if you're a young player.
Well, you think about it, it wasn't all that long ago when he was with the team. They had Carlos Santana blocking him at first base, and then you had Mike Napoli for a while, who was the DH, who was having a big season back in 16. The opportunities just weren't there.
And anytime the opportunity came in, he wasn't there where he played 10 days, 2 weeks in a row, where he could really get in there and feel comfortable and show himself.
And Tito said that. Tito says he wished he gave him more of an opportunity. It just didn't fit. Matt, you just said it. Napoli came in, and they were trying to win now. And he understands that. Aguilar understands the situation. He says he may be in a better place. He's lost a little weight, and he loves hitting in that ballpark they have in Milwaukee.
Can't blame him for that. And you know what? Let's go back to what you told us about Greg Allen. He had an opportunity now to start playing day after day, and he starts feeling better about himself.
By the way, that's 7 strikeouts now for Corey Kluber, who continues to mow him down. probably not a fair comparison. In fact, I know it's not a fair comparison. But the first thing I thought of, probably because it's Milwaukee, is Richie Sexton.
Yeah.
You know, who it was hard for him to break into that lineup at the time.
Yes, it was.
They traded him to Milwaukee. Now, he was a more established player, so they were able to trade him and, you know, get some return. But then he exploded in Milwaukee. I mean, exploded.
Sean Casey.
Similar.
I mean, Brian Giles.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back down in those years, you couldn't break into this line. It was practically impossible for those guys.
Travis Shaw 0 for 2 has struck out, fly to deep left. Sends a high pop on the infield. Ramirez at third base. 2 down.
Well, get KeyBank Kids tickets starting at just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Kids tickets are located in the family deck right here at the ballpark and are only available at Indians.com.
Two down, Ryan Braun. He has struck out twice tonight against Kluber. And a fastball just a bit high. Pretty, but a tad cool on this Tuesday evening. 59 degrees at game time. Oh man, right back up the gut.
Holy
I don't know if that grazed Kluber or if it was just too close for comfort, but that sucker went right back through the middle.
It sure did, when he did. Barely. I don't know if he had any time to get out of the way. That thing was, I mean, shot off the bat. Watch how close this got. Oh, not
Guess
as
it
close
wasn't as close as it looked from up here.
From up here, because he turned to the side, and it looked like it was a lot closer than that, but it still left the bat.
104 off the barrel.
With some velocity.
That'll get your attention. Keeps the inning alive for Ji-Man Choi. Spoils a chance to retire the side in order. Third straight inning. He's retired the first 2.
Yeah.
And that third guy has singled against him. But in the previous 2 innings, came right back and retired the next hitter to end the inning. He's closing in on 100 pitches here tonight. Old foul.
Keep your eye on Braun over there. Only reason I say that, he's one stolen base away from 200 in his career.
Just missed outside, and it's 2-2. The hit by Ryan Braun gives the Brewers 7 on the evening, and that is 1 fewer than the most hits Kluber has allowed in any start this year. He gave up 8 against Kansas City back on May 13th. To left field, Brantley makes the chest high catch, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit, a man left, middle of the 6th. It remains Cleveland 3, Milwaukee 1. District. And the Indians enjoying a 3-1 lead going to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Edwin Encarnacion walked and scored in the 2nd, flied to deep left in the 3rd. Takes the first pitch strike from Junior Guerra. Normally, you get to 2 strikes, and you're thinking shorten up, make contact, just put the ball in play. Well, at least there was a time when that's what you would think. The Indians came into today with the most 2-strike home runs in all of baseball. It hit 30 as a team with 2 strikes on the year.
Those are tough to come by. 2-strike homers. Yeah, you just a lot of times you just try and put it in play, but sometimes when you do that, you know, you put a good swing on it, you don't try and do too much, and you happen to go out because these guys are big enough and strong enough to hit them when they're not trying.
How many times have you heard a guy after a game say, I wasn't trying to hit a home run, and just put a good swing?
A lot, that's right.
The 1-2.
Look at it.
Line drive, but right at Yelich. They've hit a couple of those today.
They've had some good swings. This Guerra's pitched well. He really has. But they've hit some balls on the nose, but you hit it into the defense. They've hit line drives. Kid misses hit a couple. Encarnacion just missed the home run over there. You know, so they hit the ball well, but he's bent. He hasn't broken. You know, they got the 2 early. They got another solo home run from Ramirez, but he's kept his team in a ball game against Corey Kluber. And that's something that you try to do as an opposing pitcher. Just keep yourself in the ball game.
Yonder Alonso takes a strike. He singled and scored in the 2nd. He hit a ball right on the nose in the 4th inning, but he hit it right at Villar, the 2nd baseman. There probably are games, Arch, that you had in your career where you'd be in the dugout, you'd be feeling good about yourself, having good at bats, and you look up and it's like, it's only 3-1. Thought we were winning by more than that. You know.
Well, it seems like that sometimes, but you know, delivering a knockout punch is not easy to do.
Swing and a miss, and especially against a guy like Guerra, who, and you illustrated earlier, he's kind of pitched his way to the front of the rotation. And Craig Counsell's given a lot of the credit to Derek Johnson, his pitching coach.
Yes.
He said, look, he's found a way to get Junior to get himself into a really good place. He said credit goes to the player as well. But Derek Johnson's been in place 3 years now, and he feels like he's been a good addition. Yeah.
Well, he was just added to the Brewers. It was the general manager's first addition to this team when he took him in a Rule 5 draft for the White Sox. So he probably feels at home.
2 down here in the 6th inning. Well, earlier today at the Cleveland Food Bank, some of the employees at Fox Sports Ohio and Sports Time Ohio took part in the 3rd annual Impact Week. During this week, Fox Sports gives its employees a chance to help the communities where they live through service and other projects. This year, the hope is to positively impact 1 million people around the world through this 21st Century Fox Impact Week and other community service opportunities. Derek Johnson was a former college pitching coach. And the one thing Counsell says is that college mentality is teaching, teaching, teaching. You know, you have to always start over when you get a freshman. And he said sometimes that works here too. You know, sometimes you've got to clear the decks and start over. And when you've got someone who really excels at teaching, it can be a real benefit. The 0-1. There's also, from what in my experience from talking to guys, there's a fine line though where you have to remember they are professionals. You can't treat them maybe the way you would treat a college kid who's not getting paid.
No, but the minute you think you know everything, you're in trouble. I don't care if you're at the big league level. You could always learn everything. You have to just, you know, fine tune your craft.
Loop towards center. That's going to drop. Jason Kipnis with his 2nd hit of the night. Well, they've hit some stingers that have been caught, so maybe it's time to bloop one in.
Hit one hard, and it's an out. Hit one soft, you get a base hit. Change up on the defense. That's all you do. And he did that, just that. That ball down near the trademark, but he bloops it in and gets a base hit. He'll take it. He's 2 for 3 now, but it's a 2-out single.
Like he almost rolled his ankle on that follow through, but appears to be okay. Remember we saw Michael Brantley do that a few years ago at home plate?
I do. I think it was in Kansas City.
For those of you wondering as you watch at home, those are not snowflakes. Those are midges. Look at these things. They're just everywhere. Oof. It does look like snow flurries, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It sure does. And it's cool enough. we figured it might. There's the biggest midge of them all. Papa midge. Yeah, they came in the last couple of days. They were all over the place, coming in off the lake. They even registered in on the radar when you're showing the weather.
They look like cloud formations.
Yeah, it did. They picked it up.
A 1-1. Pulled foul over near Andre. Left-hander up in the Milwaukee Brewer bullpen. Tribe's bullpen is quiet. Kluber only had to make 90 pitches his last time out. So Terry Francona might feel like he can push him a little longer here this evening. Swing and a miss. Gomes down on strikes. The inning is over, and we'll head to the 7th. Cleveland 3, Milwaukee 1. Well, Corey Kluber has been something special so far here tonight. He's gone 6 innings. He's allowed 1 run on 7 hits. Has struck out 7. As always, he has not walked a batter. 4-seamer, 2-seamer.
Well, you get a good look at what he has, and I'll tell you, it doesn't stop there. He's got a change up to left-handers as well.
And a cut fastball is another weapon that he will use throughout the night.
And just outstanding command of every one of those pitches.
Jonathan Villar 0 for 2 and is flied out, grounded out. Neil Ramirez, the right-handers, and Tyler Olson, the lefty. Kluber just over 100 pitches on the night. Terry Francona probably hoping that Kluber can work through the bottom third of this order. If he turns it over again, maybe he goes to the bullpen. Lindor able to throw out VR, 1 down. Well, bring your kids out to the Indians live set before the game tomorrow to ask their favorite player a question as a Sports Time Ohio Kidcaster. We'll be recording kids' questions tomorrow and we'll air the best ones Saturday afternoon during Indians Live. Manny Pena doubled and scored the Brewers' only run tonight back in the 3rd inning. Struck out his last time up. That double, by the way, for Pena, his only hit against Indians pitching. Now 1 for 11. Kluber's last time out was against the White Sox. He only went 6 innings in that game because he had struck out 10 and he was at 90 pitches and the Indians were up 9-1. And Tito felt like, hey, this is a good time, maybe save a few pitches, give him a little bit of a breather because of a game like this where you maybe want to give him the opportunity to go a little bit deeper than normal. And it's not like this is, you know, uncharted territory. Kluber's gone 103, he's gone 110, he's gone as many as 116 pitches in a game.
Yeah, this is his inning right here, the last inning that I'm sure he will see. They have it going in case something happens, but they're hoping he can get through these last 2 hitters.
Caught by Lindor, a little humpback liner, 2 down. You know, the other thing too, Arch, he hasn't necessarily breezed through the game, but they haven't really had him on the ropes where he's had to make a lot of high stress pitches.
No, 2 out base hits, as we mentioned, the last 3 innings. Prior to this one, they had 2 out base hits. They had the 3 hits in the 3rd inning. That's where he really had to work for the most part, and then that was it. He's been his typical self, looking to get 7 innings and less than 3 runs. It's 2 runs. That's it. That's a quality start for Corey. Everybody looks at a quality start saying 6 innings and 3 runs. Well, that equates out to a 4.50 ERA. You got to tune that down a little bit because his is, you know, his ERA coming into the game was 2.02 tonight. He's just doing his thing, man. Another night on the mound for Corey Kluber.
His home ERA coming into tonight was 1.26.
Yeah, he's very dominant in this ballpark. 5-0. Had 10 wins here last year.
But Junior Guerra has done exactly what any pitcher that opposes Kluber aims to do. He's kept his team in the game by holding the Indians to just 3 runs. Alonso Fires a perfect feed to Kluber. And the Brewers go 1-2-3. Another gem for Corey Kluber. 7 innings in the book. Stretch time in Cleveland. Ball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. 3-1 Cleveland. And as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning, Craig Counsell makes the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. He'll go to left-hander Dan Jennings. And Jennings, familiar to the Indians, he formerly pitched with the White Sox. He last pitched against his old club Sunday. He went an inning and was roughed up, gave up a couple of runs to the Sox.
He was a late sign by them this March, March 30th.
Junior Guerra went 6 innings tonight and leaves after making only 92 pitches. But that's about par for the course.
Yes.
Based on the way Craig Counsell has managed this year. Some people look at it like, man, he's really overtaxing the bullpen. But if you look closer, he really isn't because of the way they've spread the workload out. But he doesn't let his starters go very deep into the game on average.
No, and then for Guerra, that's his 5th time that he's gone 6 innings. And that's the longest he's gone. But he's done it his last 3 starts and 4 out of the last 5. So, you know, he goes out there, say, give me a solid 6 innings, keep us in the ball game, and we've got that pen that'll hold us right there.
Among the top 100 pitchers in appearances, only Jeremy Jeffress, who's tied for 8th, and Dan Jennings, who's tied for 16th, show up in the top 100. So
there you have it.
Little squibber right back to the mound. 1 down. That'll bring up Greg Allen, who is 0 for 2 on the night.
Number 1, Greg Allen.
Here's another interesting note. Josh Hader, who's fantastic for the Brewers out of their bullpen, he's pitched in back-to-back games only 1 time this year.
Well, he usually goes out there for multiple innings too.
And only twice on 1 day of rest. So he's had 2 or more days of rest in between his other 17 appearances.
And when he appears in one of their games, they're 20-0.
Swing and a foul. We tend to, make light of it, joke about it. At times it's got to be a little distracting for the hitters, not to mention the pitchers maybe. But it seems like the bugs are more focused right down there in the batter's box.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the lights or whatever. But don't spray any bug repellent on you.
That was a direct hit. Ow. Manny Pena getting an extra moment to collect himself.
Yeah, the midges are getting pretty bad for the hitters. A lot of them feel like it's because that's where the lights kind of shine down on the helmets, and that's where they converge a little bit.
Yeah.
But I can say in the last 35 minutes, 40 minutes, it's definitely changed.
Yeah.
Are they bothering you down there where you're sitting?
I don't get bothered by bugs. I get bothered by old men named Rick.
You are a bug.
Check swing. It's low, full count.
Well, old Fred Joppa Chamberlain told me not to spray anything on me. That's when it got bad for him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the players over here, they realize, after that playoff game from years ago, you put bug spray on it, makes it worse. You just kind of fight through it.
Now the 3-2 on its way. Yanked, but fouled on the left side.
Everybody clap your hands.
I wonder, is this sort of a phenomenon that we just didn't pay attention to at the old stadium?
Oh, they were around.
They were around. It had to be, right?
They were over near the lake.
I just don't remember it being as big a deal.
There's a lot more bugs than them around, I'll tell you that. Around that
The
stadium.
midges were the least of our problems.
That's right. There were dinosaurs around there.
There's a strike called, 2 away. There were reptiles roaming free. Top of the order, Francisco Lindor, 0 for 3 on the night. Down at the feet of Lindor, who skips out of the way. Oliver Perez has now joined Neil Ramirez. Brewers have righty, lefty in their lineup at the top. Bouncing ball toward third, cut off by Shaw. Low throw, and it's a close play. They just barely got Lindor, and the Indians go 1-2-3. We'll head to the 8th. 3-1 Cleveland.
And the Indians have the lead 3-1 as we head to the 8th inning at Progressive Field over the Brewers. He's Jensen Lewis. I'm Al Pulowski. It feels like October of 2007 tonight, doesn't it?
I'm in the right spot, right? This is the same bullpen that I was warming up in and feeling out there. Hey, the only thing that's warming up, Corey Kluber yet again for another Cy Young.
He was pretty impressive. We'll talk more about him coming up on Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care right after the game. Let's head back upstairs to the booth where there are no midgets.
Up there, yes.
Well, there are some up there.
Oh, they gotta be.
Matt, Rick, are they up there?
They're here. They're everywhere. But they're not as prevalent as they are right down there, it seems like, at home plate and definitely on the field. Neil Ramirez, 8th appearance of the year. He's got the top of the order. And Oliver Perez ready in the bullpen behind him. Neil Ramirez with a first pitch strike. Lorenzo Cain is having a good night. 2 for 3. He drove in Milwaukee's only run back in the 3rd inning. Lorenzo Cain came into this game just 2 for his previous 22. And only 1 RBI during that time span, but perhaps a familiar foe. Has helped him tonight. Corey Kluber, amazing once again. 7 innings, 1 run allowed. He's struck out 38 and walked nobody in his last 5 starts. That covers, by the way, 139 batters without a walk.
Yeah, it sure does.
2-2. And the fact that Kluber went 7 enables Terry Francona to look at his bullpen. He's got Ramirez. He's got Oliver Perez. High fly ball. Shallow right. Kipnis. He's there. 1 down.
Still, just the 1 run allowed tonight for Kluber. That last 2 starts ago against Houston, where he went 6 1/3 here, he didn't go to 7, gave up 7 hits, and left leading that game 2-0, and got the no decision because they came back on that bullpen. So you still got to get some 5 important outs here.
Christian Yelich 1 for 3. Oh, what a backhanded pick by Yonder Alonso. A beautiful play. 2 down.
Yeah, he stayed down on that baseball. Almost looked like he knew he was going to backhand it. Just sweeps it up and goes and takes it himself. Nice pick. He knew he had it all the way. Got down to the knees. He was going to stay down on it, raise the hands up as it takes a bounce.
Good concentration. 2 down. And Jesus Aguilar, the batter. He is 0 for 3 on the night. And Ramirez, 96-mile-an-hour fastball in there for a strike. He's got him in the hole. 0-2. Swung out and missed. Ramirez strikes out Aguilar, who slams his helmet in frustration along with his bat. 1-2-3 go the Brewers. 3-1 Cleveland. 8th inning. Michael Brantley 1 for 3, doubled in the 5th. Dan Jennings stays on for a 2nd inning of relief work. There's a right-hander up in Milwaukee's pen. Cody Allen getting ready for Cleveland. Off-speed pitch in for a strike. Dan Jennings was with Tampa Bay to start the year, but the Rays released him on March 26th. That's right at the beginning of the season.
Sure.
And the Brewers snapped him up 4 days later.
Yeah, the season started the 29th.
And he didn't take his first loss until April 27th against the Cubs. Brantley out looking. 2nd strikeout for Jennings, 1 down. Brantley having words with home plate umpire James Hoy as he heads back to the dugout. Recapping our storylines, brought to you by Ford. Kluber has made himself right at home as usual. And offensively, Jose Ramirez with a home run for the Tribe tonight. Craig Counsell is going to the bullpen. We've got a timeout, 3-1 Cleveland in the 8th.
Season with a promo pass for an additional service fee. Promo passes ensure you get to your item no matter what time you arrive at the ballpark. Just visit Indians.com/promo pass for more details.
Corey Knebel is the new pitcher for Milwaukee. He comes on to face Jose Ramirez. Knebel picked up his 5th save of the season when he last pitched on Wednesday against St. Louis. Struck out the only batter he faced.
Here's a guy, their closer from last year, that ended up hurting himself early in the year. And he has really good stuff with a good fastball, good curveball. That's tore a left hamstring.
Yeah, missed a month.
Yeah, and I mean, he tore it badly. And I mean, it came in one of the first few games of the year. But that bullpen was doing so well, and Hader was pitching well, and Jefferson. Now you just add him to the mix. And it just makes it that much tougher. Gives you one more arm for him.
Off-speed pitch, and you can see the separation. 79 miles an hour.
Got a very good curveball.
Fly ball. Deep center. Back goes Kane. Makes the catch. 2 down. Not tonight.
No siree.
And it will bring up Edwin Encarnacion 0 for 2. Walked and scored back in the second inning. Edwin with a mighty cut fouls it right back.
Well, he was looking dead red and got it and fouled it straight back, but put a good swing on it.
Cody Allen is ready to go. Edwin, long fly ball deep to left, and that's going to be off the wall, and it kicks by Ryan Braun. That'll enable Encarnacion to go to second base with a stand-up 2-out double.
Well, that hitting streak continues for Eddie. And, you know, that's down to the count 0-2 and put a good swing on it like that. That's seeing the baseball. That's believing and trusting yourself right there. He gets another fastball. This time he didn't miss it. He fouled the first one straight back. It hits at the base of the wall, ricochets past Braun, and he's in the second base with his 8th double. And an 11-game hitting streak. See if they can add one more here.
18 hits during that 11-game hitting streak for Edwin. Yonder Alonso 1 for 3 tonight. Starts him off with a slow hook, but it's low, ball 1. That curveball just missed inside. And it's 2-0. White Sox lead the Twins 6-2 in the 6th inning. That's game 2 of their doubleheader. Minnesota won the first game. There was the good fastball, but did you see where it was? Just on the inside corner, maybe a ball width off the plate, but hard to get the hands through to get the barrel to it at 96. Especially when he's got that slow hook that's in the back of your mind.
Yeah, but when you're sitting 2-0, you spit on that hook. You're looking for the fastball. And right back with another one.
Knables 2-2. Up high. That time cut under that curveball. One of the few times he's missed with that pitch, especially up.
Yeah, well, he's missed with the curveball 3 times. He's thrown strikes with the fastball twice in this at bat. Even though first base is open, what do you think? Fastball or curveball?
He goes with number 1. Don't compete with nothing but your best.
I would agree.
Edwin got a piece of that fastball to stay alive. And again, the 3-2. Slow breaking ball struck him out to end the inning. We'll go to the 9th. Cody Allen will come on to try and save it for Cleveland. Telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Ninth inning here at Progressive Field. Indians 3, Brewers 1. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for Milwaukee. And Cody Allen will come on and try and nail it down for the Indians. 26th appearance on the year. He's 9 out of 10 in save situations. Trying to put an ugly one behind him from the other day in Minnesota. Travis Shaw, 0 for 3 tonight, leads it off. Strike called to even the count. Sunday in Minnesota, it was a 2-run home run by Eddie Rosario in the bottom of the 9th off Cody Allen that ended the game. It was Rosario's 3rd home run of the afternoon. Rocked deep down the line and gone. And it's a 1-run game. That's home run number 14 for Travis Shaw. 7th in his last 23 games.
Boy, that just caught the pole down the line. It looked like it was hooking foul. Shaw was just sort of walking down the line wanting to see. He hit one earlier that was foul on the first pitch off Kluber, but this one caught the pole, and it's one swing, and they cut the lead to 1. There it is, a fastball. It's belled high and on the inner part of the plate, and Shaw just nails it. That'll be his 14th home run. And now Ryan Braun 1 for 3, singled his only time up in the 6th. The 4th home run allowed by Allen this year. Swing and a miss. Chopper. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's 12 straight games now in which the Indians have allowed at least 1 home run. High pop to right. Lonnie Chisenhall will make the catch. 1 down.
Batting now for the Brewers, the designated hitter, G-Man Choi.
You know, you think about how well the Indians have swung the bat with regards to the home run ball. They started the night 2nd in the league. They've now hit 89 home runs on the year. But they have now allowed a whopping 87 home runs. And only, well, actually they started the day in a, was it a tie? No, only Kansas City had given up more home runs. 2 balls and a strike. I know it's a problem that they're looking into, trying to figure out what they can do to correct the problems.
Well, late inning home runs hurt.
Broken bat, ground ball to second. And Jason Kipnis will take care of that. 2 down. Yeah, when you talk about late inning home runs, 32 of the home runs have been allowed by the bullpen this year. And that is tied for the most in the American League. I mean, that's a bunch. And look, the bullpen's ERA coming in is over 6.
Yeah, the highest in the league, 5-13 with a 6.02 coming in.
And you have to think the home run ball is a huge part of that problem. Well, right now, the only thing on Cody Allen's mind is one more out to put this one in the win column. Jonathan VR is 0 for 3. VR has flied out, grounded out twice. Foul right back, 1-1. Neil Ramirez with a heck of a job, a perfect inning of relief in the 8th. Corey Kluber went the first 7, allowing just 1 run. Upstairs with it, 2 balls and a strike. Foul back. $22,330. And another 30,000 or so midges.
Maybe more than that.
Swirling about as Cody Allen tries to nail it down. Up high. Pitch. Got him. The Indians are back in the win column. They take the opener by a final of 3-2. Indians are now 31-28 on the season. They'll stay firmly atop the Central Division standings in the American League, while Milwaukee will remain atop the NL Central. Brewers are now 37-24 on the year. The winner is Corey Kluber. He's 9-2. Save to Cody Allen. It'll be his 10th. And for the Brewers, the loss will go to Junior Guerra, who falls to 3-4 on the year. Time of the game, 2 hours and 39 minutes. The attendance, 22,330. 3-2 is the final. Back with a final word right after this.